Daily Broadside day 342. You know I can't stand? I can't stand driving by like an industrial park or a business, and you'll see a business that says like Bradford Solutions. And every time I'm like, what the hell, Bradford? What are you trying to solve? You know? I mean, are you out there trying to solve world hunger or genital herpes? Like, maybe I want to go in there and shop around. Maybe it's something that you could benefit my life from. Not that I'm hungry or I have genital herpes. That's not my point. I think you lost track here. But what I'm saying is, you don't know what their business is, and that's dumb, okay? If I go to, a store that sells flowers, it'll say florist. And I'll be like, if I need flowers, I damn sure know where to go. If I go to a store, it says, Frankie's Mercedes parts, used and new. If I need Mercedes parts, I know to go to Frankie's. But if I need solutions, I don't know if Bradford can help me, okay? I don't like that ambiguity, that vagary that they go with. About 2 days ago, my mom called me. She said, I need a tree cut down at the house. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so I said, I'll be by in, the next day or whatever. So I went out and I grabbed a chainsaw and drove to the house and went over there, and I'm walking back to the back of the property, and I'm like, now what tree are we taking down? She's like, that one right there. I'm like, to me, it appears like that's not on our property here. I say our because I grew up there, so I kind of know what delineates one yard from the other. And she's like, oh, no, it's not my tree. I'm like, pretty sure we can't just cut down other people's trees. She's like, oh, they don't care. And I'm like, what do you mean they don't care? I said, it's their tree. At the end of that, I said, are they home? She's like, no, they're at work. They won't even know it's gone. And I'm like, again, I don't think we can just start chopping. This is a irreversible process, You could graft the tree together. It's going to take quite a while for this thing to come back, outside of our lifetimes. And so she's like, it's fine. They don't, he's been dead for years. They rent the house. The renters don't care. They don't even take care of the yard. I'm like, all right. So I fired her up. We chopped it down, limbed it, bucked it, got everything done, and get it hauled off. And I thought to myself, man, you just make a little industry out of this. If anybody needs some trees cut down that aren't theirs, give me a call. I'll come over and do it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? They can't make me put the tree back. But see, then I got to thinking, I was like, she gets this honestly, because her dad, my grandfather, lived out in the middle of nowhere, about an hour from where we live. So you'd have to drive through the nebulous country to go get to his house. And when my sister, who's younger than me, got her license, she drove down there for the first time by herself. It's like her first real long trip. You remember those days, right? You're 16, you're driving an hour away. Well, she comes up to there's a little town that you drive through before you get to his house. And she comes up to a stop sign, and as a result of there being this bushy, huge tree sitting on the corner on this dude's lot, she almost pulls out and gets hit because she couldn't see around the corner. She, for whatever reason, tells my grandfather this story, and the next day he's driving the 15 miles into town with a chainsaw in tow and proceeds to cut that tree down. And I'm like, man, I come from a long line of lumberjacks who just don't give a hell whose tree it belongs to. They'll just cut it all down. I'm sure everybody's either been to or heard of Caribbean, Bahama type places where you can swim with dolphins. I think it's stupid that people want to swim with dolphins, but swimming with great white sharks, now that you have my attention. However, we got to make sure that we create a saddle that allows me to strap onto that thing, as if you were hugging onto the hood of a car going 40 miles an hour. I'm talking chains, something that makes it to where his head can't whip around and somehow bite off part of my body, because those things have like 72 million, square inches of bite force. They have like the strongest bite force of any animal on Earth, even though it's really hard to measure, and a lot of it has been, predicted with theoretical musings and, math and whatnot. But still, that would be kind of cool, And I don't trust any comedian that brings out a guitar, okay? That's just somebody that can play the guitar that's not necessarily that funny. Put the damn guitar up, because it went downhill as soon as you opened that case. I've never seen anybody with a guitar on stage that's funny. And so help me, if anybody says Jimmy Fallon, you're dead to me. Get it.